Okay, now I'm inside a very old inherited food forest in northwest of Tehran. Uh, right now I'm waiting for the owners to come, but I have some time to document some stuff for myself and others. Um, yeah, so as you see, we are in the hillside, but you cannot see actually from here, but I need to move and show the other side. Okay, so you see that it's all dry out of food forest. It's very dry, arid zone and very steep mountainside, but close to the bottom, maybe like 200-300 meters uh, above the valley, but around 1500 meters or maybe 1600 meters above sea level altitude. Okay, and it's clearly around zone 7 or 8. As you see, it has a lot of figs, all of them in production, all of them old figs, and lots of pomegranates, and the garden or the food forest is terraced. Terraced, as you see, this is one terrace, and there is another above it. They are made of stone, so they make some flat agriculture uh, space available like this. All the trays are like this, and they are like kind of like a trench on all the swales for the water to access the plants, and there is piping, as you see, to connect and irrigate. All this land is irrigated by spring water. There are 3 natural springs that uh, emit from the ground. They have the fortune to have access to 3 spring waters. And in Iran, actually, most food forests are built around spring waters. And you see there is stairs you can traverse between the levels of the food forest. You see some pomegranates, figs, and shawtoots and mulberries. Shawtoot is actually a type of black mulberry, which is very rich in antioxidants, and it's kind of more sour in taste and different texture, actually totally different texture than regular mulberries or the red mulberries or the regular black mulberries. They have different leaves, I will show you later. And there is some beautiful things done. For example, I can show about the irrigation. When they open the irrigation for a particular path, this is when it, for example, this level of terrace fills up, it will overflow over the stones here, and if you feel this level, and then it overflows and goes, you see this is the stone, water passes through all the stones, so there is no degradation of the soil, and then goes to the next, and then each terrace has a overflow, which is quite brilliantly designed, and all handmade with recycled material from the city. And you see the soil structure is actually very good soil structure. It's perfect infiltration of water. It has perfect infiltration of water because of the high sand content, and that's why we have very tall trees, like see those chenar trees. I don't know the Latin name, but they are very popular here. Chenar tree, they go like, those trees are at least 50 meters, or maybe like 40 meters. And yeah, so it's a good combination that usually by the hillside and the mountains the roots cannot penetrate so deep, so the trees cannot grow so tall because it's the bedrock is close to the surface. But here, because the food forest is old and the soil is good, they have tall trees. And for example, this vine, massive vine, you see trunk, it covers and shades the whole living area. This is the living area. There is zone 0. They live here. The beds here are outdoor. People hang out, live almost outdoor. They don't need to go home inside, like ever. Maybe like a couple of months a year they need to go inside, but the weather is so good and dry and without any pests or insects bothers you. So it's perfect for living outdoors. And you see the vine is here and has climbed this kaki tree, persimmon tree, and the other persimmon tree there. So it has covered a very wide area, and you see next to the house here there is another persimmon, beautifully designed to make you feel good and connected to nature. And they haven't even pruned the persimmon shoots because it actually looks like ornamental plants, the shoots of your persimmon. So why bother with the pruning? And yeah, you see this one is sweet cherry, and out of season they have harvested all the cherries. There is some left for the birds and they have eaten it. And there is a face mask, a symbol of corona post dystopia. After it has reached here, someone has brought the mask here. And there is a natural trench for the flood, actually in the middle of the valley. This is the ridge or valley, or it's a ridge technically speaking. water goes through. It's fortified by the concrete and stones, so it doesn't cause destruction when it floods. And you see it's all perfect, and in a climax condition there is nothing to degrade when it floods. It's all stones. This is the black mulberry I talked about. It has different leaf shapes than the regular mulberry. In Persian we call it shatut, and the fruits also look different. It matures like 2 weeks or 1 month after the mulberries. And this is the boundary where for the ownership of this food forest. The food forest is owned by a couple of families, and they don't sell it either, so you cannot buy it from them. But because they know the value of this food forest, but they share their duties. Although they have boundaries, they have their own private property inside the food forest, but they share the responsibilities, the duties. They do each other's work when they are not around. And more pomegranates, some are in better shape. This is another view from the ancient grapevine. As you see, it has climbed up this huge persimmon tree. It's in full production for more than 100 years. And yes, more persimmon or kaki. I don't know what's the exact difference. And I'm walking on the terrace right now. You see, it's concrete fortified, and all fortified with stones, so nothing can be degraded ever by floods or irrigation water. And this is another one for irrigation. They have invented stuff using recycled material. This is a anot. They have dug and made a kind of cave to lead the water many years ago, maybe hundreds of years ago. So the water from the springs can travel to a place where they are more efficient, and where they can meet a better growing soil and put into better use. And here is the ridge, I guess, from the landscape point of view. And yeah, this part is owned by another family which hasn't taken much care of their own food forest, but still it is thriving. The figs and the pomegranates are healthy without irrigation. They haven't grown much, but they haven't died either. There is no canopy, but there is a mulch from the pruning stuck here. See lots of natural nitrogen fixers, legumes, which are invasive weeds, but better than nothing. There is no nitrogen fixers at all in this food forest, to be honest. They give sometimes import some manure, maybe horse manure or cow, mostly cow and sheep manure. But for some years they don't even add any fertilizer, maybe for 5 years sometimes. It's totally fine without any. So that's a kind of myth, in my opinion, that you need nitrogen fixers for a food forest. No, it can be 100% just fruit trees and still be in good shape. Maybe once a couple of years you can add some manure as they do here. So yeah, to hell with nitrogen fixers. Nature usually gives you nitrogen fixers for free if you need it, like these ones, these legumes. I don't know what they are exactly, but they are legumes. They haven't produced fruit yet, but they will produce some kind of peas. And yeah, so yeah, we don't need nitrogen fixers. Here we have walnuts. You see, these are the kind of young walnuts though. I don't know what happened to the old walnuts here. Maybe they have died or got replaced by the owners or something. But there are some invasive species. This is tree of hell, which you see they are creating shoots everywhere. Tree of hell or tree of heaven. And they are becoming bigger than the fruit trees, these invasive weeds which are imported by the municipality for ornamental reasons. But as we know, in permaculture there is no such thing as weeds, so maybe there will be useful in some ways, more and more of tree of hell. This part is more managed or in cleaner structure, more industrial shape. You see less recycled stones are used and more regularly shaped bricks are used to build terraces here. And see your irrigation pipes. I don't understand exactly. I have to talk with the owner about what they are doing for the irrigation. But there is a danger actually that they fall for this advice from government. The government, you have the Ministry of Agriculture, and they are like follow the conventional poisonous agriculture, which is in academia right now. So they advise you to bulldoze your food forest and do monoculture and fertilize using pesticide and herbicide all year round to produce some value. They don't understand the spiritual value of the food forest, the healing value of it when you go inside. and you can heal yourself spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically, and also physically. If you get sick, if you come to this food forest, you will be healed much faster physically as well. You don't need any medications. Maybe you need, but you will be on a better journey to recovery. Yeah, so they see agriculture only as something that can produce cash, and if it's not producing enough cash to um, compensate for the amount of investment you put for the inflated property values, then they say you are stupid, and they make you humiliate you at the Ministry of Agriculture in order to force you to give up your food forest for monoculture, which makes you hate agriculture later on, and which makes you sell it for half the price later on and go live in the city, become a stupid consumer. My personal experience, this is 100% my personal experience. And you see, this is a sumac bush. It's in flower right now, but soon they will produce the fruit, which is a kind of spice used along with meat in Middle East. But besides being a spice, sumac, which is a kind of weed here, they don't maintain or manage it at all. They just grow here and they harvest if they need something, a little bit. They harvest like maybe 1% of the produce. And yeah, so besides being a spice, sumac is a fantastic medicinal herb to balance out your digestion, your if you have sickness, or if you are heat strike chicken, or so many different digestive sicknesses, or if you have fever, or if you eat bad food or food poisoned, can he help you clean up, detoxify your body as well. So if you want to detox, you can just use this to detox at a faster rate, instead of like fasting for 40 days to detox your innermost hormones and all your body. You can detox using sumac in like a couple of days. I don't know the exact numbers, but you will get much better result. Anyway, and this is mulberry. This is the size of mulberries you have here, and this is a dried one on the tree, super sweet. Super good, but you should be careful. You might get stomach cramps if you eat a kilo of this. Eat in moderation, or let it dry. If you can dry it and use it all year round with your coffee or with your tea, or as a snack day to day. Tremendous calorie source. These mulberries. So one of the exports of this area as well, main exports, like this area is famous for its mulberry, you see. And you know, the mulberries are propagated using cuttings. So in some forests, food forests down there, focus, yeah, you will see one cultivar propagated using cutting, and there are like maybe 10,000 trees of the same mother tree, and all produce the same fruit because they are from the same mother. And yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Uh, a handful, just dripping with sugar in my hand. Okay, I will pause to eat a little bit here.